I got that California.
Hey, what's up everyone, Epithemy here, and I hope you're all having a fantastic day. For today's video, I want to go over high sensitivity versus low sensitivity in Counter-Strike. So before we start going over high versus low sensitivity, there is no wrong choice to have by any means, but there are some sensitivities that are better at a certain resolution, but ultimately it does come down to preference. So let's start off with low sensitivity. The base DPI is 400 for a low sensitivity. You really shouldn't go anything lower than 400 DPI in general. And from there, the in-game sense can really range from 1 to 2. A really common one is 400 DPI at 1.5 in-game. So now one of the major pros to having a lower sensitivity, you can have a very steady shot with no sporadic movements. A lower sensitivity does take some time to get used to though. If you are recently switching to a lower sensitivity, you'll find you will be chasing people a lot more with your crosshair and it may feel kind of clunky, but that doesn't mean you should switch. You should definitely try it out for, some time and give yourself at least a week to get used to it. And if you have to change anything, just kind of go from there. Use a low sensitivity as a starting point and then go from there, and I promise you will have a better time finding your sensitivity. So now as for having a high sensitivity, this allows for more movement, so that's definitely a plus, and you can also have better flicks in some people's cases, and it may even help your aim. Some people just might prefer a high sensitivity, or a higher sensitivity might feel comfortable or more comfortable for you, and you might actually be able to hit your shots a whole lot better. So a high sensitivity can range from 400 DPI to 2 to 2.5 in-game sense. Some people even use more. As I said, it just really comes down to preference, or even 1600 DPI at 0.82 in-game sensitivity. Now that one's really a resolution specific one. That one's kind of the best at like around 1080p. You're not going to be using a really high sensitivity at a low resolution. You really want a low sensitivity at a low resolution because it will actually match. But if you're playing on something that's like 1080p, like 16:9, you can definitely do 1600 at 0.82 in game. Actually, a lot of pros actually use that same exact sensitivity. So one major con of having a high sensitivity is your mouse is very touchy, and when not being used to a high sensitivity, you may overflick or you may have random sporadic moments. But this does change as you are getting used to the sensitivity, so you're not really going to be stuck that way. But overall, whether you play on a low sensitivity or a high sensitivity, there is no right or wrong. It comes down to what you prefer more and what you play better with when using. So it really also can come down to your resolution, as I said earlier, and as I explained. A lower sensitivity is better at a lower resolution unless you feel comfortable using a higher resolution, such as 400 DPI at 2 in-game sense on a lower resolution like 1024 by 768 on black bars. That's personally what I use, and I prefer it, but you won't see a lot of like pro players and stuff like that use that certain sense at a lower resolution. But my biggest suggestion is to start at a low sensitivity like 400 DPI at 1.5 in-game, and then go from there and adjust to what feels right until you find your perfect sensitivity. I feel everyone should at least try a low sensitivity because it may be exactly what they need to hit their shots better, but from there you at least know that you kind of have to slowly move up, and you can slowly move up in increments. I wouldn't suggest touching your DPI. I would suggest actually just touching your in-game sensitivity and just slowly moving it up like 0.1, 0.2 until you fully feel comfortable. But overall, I hope you all enjoyed this video. My name is Epithemy, and remember to always find your fire, find what motivates you, and run with it.